should a team with more resources be expected to perform better, or is it asking too much for that to be the case? And secondly, we're going to carry on a little bit with the conversation we had yesterday to do with Itabi. Some things were said, and I know at least one person wants to reply to that, so we'll also get into that today. Guys, everybody, welcome. How are you guys doing?
We led by
Good.
Okay. So I think let's go ahead and start with the first topic. Agent, I don't know if you want to introduce it.
Okay, I think it's best, you introduce it.
Okay.
I think I will leave the greeting to Theo. I think he's here, and JD is not here. I think they'll greet the listeners on my behalf. I think that's our job, But I think maybe we should go to the genesis of this conversation. Conversation is, I think you'll correct me, I stand to be corrected, is I said, let's take Sundowns out of this group, right? Okay. Of the league, and say there's no Sundowns, Now, the PSL is competitive. That was my argument, that the PSL is extremely competitive. If you take Sundowns out of the league.
Yeah.
And the conversation, I think you'll give it your own background so before you engage that. And then the conversation led to no, but Chiefs and Pirates should be ahead because they invest more. They shouldn't be consistently switching the second position, which we now assume is the first position, with Abu Passport and Stellenbosch like that. And then that's what led to the whole conversation about resources versus expectations. Yeah, I don't know if that was everything was about.
Yeah, no, you covered it. So the conversation started with a competitive thing, because my argument is that the PSL is not competitive because it's good. It's competitive because, or it seems to be competitive because it feels as though poor teams are playing poor teams, and every day it is a lucky packet type situation where anyone can beat anyone on any day, and it's not necessarily because they're very good. Maybe it's because, broken clocks are right twice a day. You could be right today, Richard Bay could be right tomorrow, and it's not necessarily because of your tactical play or your players or things like that. It seems like it's more of a luck of the draw thing. It goal is on Ghana, we don't know how or from who, but I guess you can get that. That is from my end, my view on that. Then we started speaking about resources, and I think my base argument is that when you have more resources over a period of time, there should be a difference between you and people who don't have resources. And I wanted also to take Sundowns out of it, because in my head, Sundowns aside, Sundowns is doing exactly what Sundowns is meant to be doing, for the money they're spending, for the resources, for the people they're bringing in, all of that stuff. But if you look at a team like Kaizer Chiefs, there isn't a market difference between Kaizer Chiefs 9 years ago and Kaizer Chiefs right now, for example. So then you could ask the question that over the 9 years that you're bringing in 5-6 players every year, that you're bringing in players that were players of the year, you're bringing in players that, were defenders of the year, captains of their teams, Bafana players. You're also rotating coaches like nobody's business. Gavin has been there, Middendorp has been there and done it before, for example. You're rotating all these guys. Surely after a period of 9 years, with the resources that Chiefs has access to, by now, they should have created a situation where they might not be Sundowns, but within the league, you would have Chiefs and Pirates. Pirates is another one that brings in a lot of players. At least they're winning trophies. But there should be a market difference between those teams and Bo Supersport. I think that was my argument over time. So I think what's best to do, let's first get the opinions of the other gents on this topic, and then we can go from there. I don't know if that's a better way. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with it. Let me go to Tamlu. Tamlu, you've heard the convos. What's your thought about this World Cup?
With Amarosisi, so and George, I'm gonna be honest with you on my side. I feel for me it's a win and lose situation. For some it works, for some it doesn't work. You can spend as much as you can dig as much as you can in the pockets, but still there is nothing you'll rip out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just like now you have said, you are highlighted Kaizer Chiefs over the past 9 years, how much they've spent. The resources there have been there, but the results are not showing up, you know. And when you and then you compare with Sundowns. Obviously, okay, we said Sundowns should be out of the equation, but still, I mean, look at the difference between Chiefs and Sundowns, and Pirates included. So I don't know if it's an international topic for us to discuss, or is it just locally? Because if you go internationally, I mean, you go to EPL, you look at how much Chelsea or Man City have spent, and you look at Liverpool, you look at the budget, the teams, all the three teams have spent, Manchester included, the four. But you look at how Liverpool has been competing with these three guys, and you look at the amount of money they've spent, plus the quality players they've signed. For some, it's working, like Man City. For some, it's not. Look at Chelsea, how frustrated the supporters are because of the money that has been spent. So I don't know. It's a win and lose situation for me. I don't want to lie. So I'm middle ground. I'm standing on middle grounds on this one.
Okay. Let me bring in Kuma. Kuma, what's your take on this conversation?
I can't relate, Mara, for the sake of conversations.
Violence.
I have to say something. Alright? So, no, man, Tuesday and I'm very. I gotta focusing on facilities, the parking lot. I get, but now they park their best cars, motor road. Can I get pavement, basic things? I get, that's their main focus. Right now, on the other hand, now the ice baths, or nali the physicians, nali the tablet for game analytics. You want things telling beneficial. When we buy the heart rate monitor, we didn't know how. Well, mentality has to go with your club's ambition.
Yeah.
So you can spend tot Bitcoin as much money buying our rejects, shopping at our rejects. The fact that we don't have people to actually control and coach and manage our rejects. So fine, I understand your imitation is the best form of flattery, Mara, like you need to spend your resources very well. And I won't lie to you, Jordan. I'm actually offended on Supersport's behalf because you make it seem like Supersport is like Kaizer Chiefs, and Kaizer Chiefs or Pirates should easily beat Supersport. No, Supersport is an investor. Look at their development they are doing on Kalohan.
Yeah.
And in terms of like Naya spend the equally, like Supersport actually pays their players in some instances better than Sundowns players. Supersport, I'm gonna compare to a Liverpool. It's in a history.
Okay.
Because Liverpool, those are like the kings of England. One. So it's similar to Liverpool in terms of like how they run their club. Most often when they've got big players or like stars in their teams, they go to a Real Madrid. That's Liverpool, right? So in this instance, Real Madrid being Sundowns, that's for Supersport. One. Mara, even though we take their best players allegedly, they always find ways to develop new people to become proper stars, and the train continues. And again, you have a Kawata in terms of like progression and actually compete on an equal footing, not financially, of course. It's difficult to compete with Sundowns financially. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. Chiefs now, we can't blame the management as well. I'll tell you why. I get. as much as you are frustrated, a little Bobby, Bo Jessica, okay, no exception, okay, one get against Bo Bobby, Lee Junior, don't know what they are doing, but they always give you everything. You've got the best facilities. Again, whenever you say you don't want this coach, they give you the coach along Matlanye. Whenever you say give this coach time, le mofa time. So I think what else can the management from Motaung give you guys unless Lenyakaba resign? And if so, why should they resign? Because when you Zamalek and Toto, they give you exactly what you want. Well, cannot. So my thing is that if you truly want to compete, let's Sundowns, get the players. Like they need to be motivated. They need to take themselves seriously, and maybe we can have this conversation around that facilities or whatever mumbo jumbos you guys think of that we do. Then we can actually start having football conversations. So and right now, okay, after.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back. Let me go to Malume Kutso. Malume Kutso, you saw a bit of, you saw the conversation, I hope, and then you heard some of what we said now. Where do you stand on this conversation?
OT, let me Zazazel. Yeah, Nimnan. No, man, OT. There's a big lie that goes on football social media. And we've accepted this lie. And it's starting to be disappointing. Or people can actually lie amongst each other and believe the lie.
Why do I feel I want to say something?
Wait. Suddenly, in South African football, the MTN 8 means nothing. Suddenly, in South African football, the Nedbank Cup means nothing. Suddenly, in South Africa, the Carling Cup or the League Cup means nothing. However, we see them asking, who cares when they lose it? We see them shaking their head furiously when China is saving penalties. We see them fire coaches when we beat them 3-0 in those cups. But when they fail to win and Pirates secures those trophies, suddenly those trophies are not a measure of success. That's what's happening here. People are just lying. People have been in the hunt for a mere medal, Kev, and they have not received a mere medal for the past 5 years. And if you want a medal, Kev, go to Soweto, you'll find 2. Yes, they may be silver, but you will definitely find 2. Silver in the past 5 years. If you go to Pretoria, it's very dry. There's no medal there. It's just tears and tears and tears. So, when do we change the scales? How do we tip the scales? Or are the scales favorable to one team? That one team, we must include it and say, well, they have resources. Why have they not conquered CAF? For so long, they've been buying all the players. We must include them, that they've bought out all the players to an extent that they can actually focus on CAF and not mind PSL because they buy out the competition. So actually, I think it's fair to see included now. Can you really buy success, Mr. OT? And when it comes to about Chiefs and Pirates, Mr. OT, will consistently be amongst the CAF qualifiers. So it will show you which we do invest. It will show you which under golden arrows, if we're being fair, we do have more resources and we must do better than golden arrows. It is an expectation that should be there, Mr. OT, I understand. And when you look, our resources are not only physical resources or personnel resources, but also staff. Also, our chairman, Ulwaz Lepola. When you look at a team like TS Galaxy, they will outshine a lot of teams. When you look at a team like Cape Town City, they will outshine a lot of teams because of the owners, the directors there have been involved in football on so many frontiers, Mr. OT. And it's understandable that those resources that they employ, being the brains trust, will obviously excel amongst others. That's why CTS Galaxy is able to get a postponement, whereas other teams are unable to get a postponement. It's the brains trust that they have, the understanding that Tim Sugazi has, and that he can oppose certain things. You understand that, Mr. OT? Apply himself. So, very resources, whether it's physical, metaphysical, they will always assist.
Okay. Hey, Theo.
Let me greet you, Mr. OT.
How are you, Theo? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Ah, man, right. You want to ndaba te.
Let me greet the people in the panel and everyone who's listening to the show. Guys, please subscribe on TikTok. Nah. Mr. OT, I don't think it's a big thing to crack and all of that. As a former Kaizer Chief supporter and a temporary Sundowns supporter, we should not be even debating this question, guys. We should not be even having this question. Yeah, well, first of all, people are gonna talk about the derby. What is a derby? If Sundowns is not there. Okay, domestically, when it comes to cups, Mr. OT, we are struggling. We are struggling. I feel like as a big team in Africa, not in Southern Africa, we should have won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Unlike my fellow brother there, Ukumabo, we know, guys, you guys are gonna come for us, but at the end of the day, we will always be at the top. The league, Mr. OT, is useless without us, or with us even included. The league is useless because we are always at the top. There's no competition. We don't know who's gonna chase us. We don't know who's trying to chase us. The only thing we know is that before 10 games of the league, we have already won the league. Now we have to focus on serious things, not these petty things of South Africa. Yabona, even right now, just say, it's fine, let them play. It's either we will be winning trophies while they are busy talking, Mr. Oti. But yeah, I do agree with the mindset that success can be bought, Mr. Oti, but only if you have a plan. I'll repeat, success can be bought only if you have a plan. You cannot gamble with money and think you'll have success. Sinomtsipe sat down with our former legend of a coach, which is Pitso Mosimane, who is now a South African legend because of Sundowns anyways. But yeah, he sat down with him. They did a proper planning, a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year scope of how he wants the team to be ran. And here we are, Mr. Oti. We are knocking teams off the chessboard as if they are pawns. It's fine. People can say whatever they want to say. If the league is competitive for you, then I guess you're not watching championship. If you watch championship, the second league, the second division, the EPL is far better than this PSL because we know who's always going to be at the top. That's it for me, Mr. Oti. As a temporary Sundown support, temporary Chief support.
Yo,
I
Fire,
didn't know.
fire, no demons amongst us. Fire.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Sundowns grants temporary memberships. Hey, agent, your team grants temporary.
Agent gave it to me.
I think before I move on, because I think if I don't move on, I would not be doing my brother a favor, because I like him very much, even my person loves his singing, so we must diagnose him properly so that he can find cure. The same way we found the illness of Ulan, we must find an illness of him. If you've been heartbroken by a girl or even losing a loved one, death or otherwise, there are stages of recovery, they call it the Dunning effect, Kruger effect. Where at first there's that peak of enthusiasm that you're enthusiastic or something, okay, it's fine, and then we get at a value of despair. I think Kumo, ever since Losh moved to Sundowns, he's in the valley of despair. He's moving from a mountain of stupidity now to a valley of despair. He's failing to accept what is happening or what has happened with Lodge. Hence, ever since that day, he's been taking us left, right, center. So don't blame him, guys. It's a normal process. You get over your ex.
George, Kumo.
Kumo, are we talking about Kumo?
He said Kumo.
Kuto.
I was about to say.
Abutu Kuto, he's failing to accept that his lovely player, the girlfriend, football-wise, is gone. So be patient with him. When he says certain things, you have to understand that it's a bereavement. He's in that position where he's trying to get over. He'll be fine, because in Ghana, Sundowns. We are not talking about Sundowns. We are talking about, he said, minor Sundowns. He's going there. He's even talking about packing lots and everything, but it's fine. Like I said, it's an illness, this thing. So when someone is sick, you don't take him that serious. You get help.
Well, so
even if it is temporary. But back to the question.
Yeah, what do you have to say from, we heard from the gents.
Yeah, I think then the conversation moves to the space, right? That now, for me, I feel like the league is competitive. If a team, is taking points from the team, whether because there's Dama and Dama, or Dama and Dama, it shouldn't matter. What would matter is at least we're on the same playing level. For me, that's what it means for a league to be competitive, So that's why I feel the league is competitive minus in Sundowns, because for me, it's not only about expenditures. There's different models. If you look at, I think someone mentioned Liverpool. The model of Liverpool is get in young players, get in development players, don't buy players. It's like Bayern Munich, buy players which are not that expensive, integrate them, come up with a system and play, And coming to South Africa, we have Supersport. Supersport likes old guys, who are so-called washed-up players, and we have they promote youngsters. So when they combine them, it becomes a team. So for me, there are different kind of models for a team to be successful. Hence I say, in as much as Chiefs and Pirates maybe are spending more than Supersport, because of the model that Supersport chose, they should be competing with Chiefs. But let's say for a second we believe your argument that there must be a direct or a proportional relationship between money spent and points accumulated. Then, okay.
Okay. I'm gonna come in. I'll come in. I think we still have our misunderstanding, but I'll come in.
Okay, no, maybe correct the misunderstanding because maybe I want to build on the misunderstanding. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that for me, the expectation should be. My expectation is resources plus time should equal success. But in the sense that, fine, Chiefs, let me use Sundowns as the example. Sundowns on its own, right? When Motsepe took over outside of that first league that they won, obviously with Miguel Camondi and Neil Tovey, Motsepe was spending everywhere. Hey, there was a time when you guys unveiled 15 players in one window. And he was spending money, and you could almost call it frivolous spending. But as time went on, Sundowns learned that, we don't just spend money. There's lessons that I expect the team to learn over time, right? So when you look at Chiefs, the reason why I'm looking at Chiefs as a Chiefs fan is to say Chiefs have spent quite a bit. And we've seen the turnover of players and the turnover of all of those guys. But it doesn't seem as though they are getting any closer to learning the lessons that they need to learn in order to not be Sundowns, but to be a little bit further away from Supersport, for example. And I think Supersport is the greatest example of this, in that Supersport understands that we don't have the resources. So when our learning has taught us that, we must move like this and like this. And now you could call it a well-oiled machine in terms of, even if they could lose everyone in a season, they'll come back the next season. And because they've learned the lessons, they know how to maneuver. That should be overcome by the resources of a Chiefs, of a Pirates, and not just resources in terms of spending money. They've got facilities. Bobby has told us that there's 53 years of knowledge within Kaizer Chiefs. He was bragging in one of the things, which is 53 years. So surely that team should understand, now this is how we move. You look at Liverpool. Liverpool restructured everything for the Klopp years. They learned the lesson. They restructured everything. And then they got a coach that fits in to whatever they were trying to do. Klopp just so happens to be the best in the world. Dortmund was almost exactly what you're speaking about, just that Liverpool, with their considerable more resources, can take it up a bit, up a level, and bring in a Van Dijk and bring in an Alisson Becker at the right time, right? So my argument is, if after 9 years of spending, you've been going off spending, you haven't learned any lessons, then, I don't understand what's going on there. But if everything's equal and everybody's learning, the resources are meant to take you above certain teams. We can't be sitting here and saying that, and no disrespect to these teams, but a team at the bottom, a team in the middle that doesn't have even a training ground. There's teams in the PSL, but Jimelang go high school stadiums.
Yeah.
There's teams that don't have analysis software. There's teams, Pitso said that Naturena has everything. He's like, Pitso said Naturena is one of the best in Africa as a whole and can stand up to a lot of training grounds in the world, right? So why isn't there a considerable advantage from those things when combined with the spending of money? And not to say that spending J is going to get you success.
Okay, so because I think this is where I want us to get to. I think this is where I wanted us to get to. So now it means that it is justifiable from your reasoning. Everything that you're saying, let's say paribus, all things equal, I agree with you. Then it means it is justifiable that Sundowns has to finish 16 points or 15 points or whatever points behind a team like Chiefs and Pirates.
Well, okay, not currently, but if all things were equal, yes.
Yes. Why not currently?
Again, 9 years of not learning. Chiefs is not learning.
That's the thing. Because that's the thing, right? That's the thing with me. Like, even if you were learning, let's say they were learning, they were getting everything, everything correct, everything spot on, My point is, even if Chiefs were learning lessons, they were doing everything. If you look at the investment that Sundowns is making in terms of players, in terms of the technical team, in terms of people outside the technical team, and the experience that they've gained, then there must be a huge difference between Chiefs and a Sundowns, a 15 or 16 points difference. The same way we expect there must be a difference between Chiefs and SuperSport, for example. No disrespect to my neighbors.
Yeah. No, that's what I agree with you. That's what I was saying yesterday. That's what I was like, me, Sundowns, I don't use it as the bar because Sundowns is doing everything exactly how they're meant to be doing it. I'm not asking Chiefs to chase Sundowns. I'm asking Chiefs to run away from SuperSport.
Okay. So now, that is cycled. So we shouldn't be saying the league is not competitive because the team is winning by more than 16 points.
That wasn't my argument.
No, I'm just saying, do you agree with that?
Okay. I agree with that.
We have closed that. Now, do you think then, as a model, the only model to success is investment? Other models can't work. Like I said, the SuperSport or the best model of combining washed-up players and young players. So shouldn't that team that does that kind of model, or maybe a team like Stellenbosch, which should promote young players, shouldn't that team be able to challenge the teams like Chiefs, which spend?
They shouldn't, and I'll tell you why. Gavin Hunt has to go through a process. Gavin Hunt every season or most seasons at SuperSport, and you hear him complain about it, he has to teach fresh players who've never played at this level to play at this level. And kudos to him, he does it very well. But that should not be sustainable versus if Chiefs was doing everything properly and they were spending properly. The reason why you can't fight with Sundowns is because Sundowns is not signing Mokoena when he just started becoming Mokoena. Sundowns is signing a Mokoena that has gone through Gavin Hunt, and then he's meeting Rulani. So when you look at it, if Mokoena that SuperSport has found this year, that's going to leave next year, and he has to do the same thing every year, right? As compared to a Sundowns or even a Chiefs. We've had players of the year, we've had defenders of the year, we've had all of these players that were national team players, that were all of these things. Over time, if I can keep refreshing that squad, right? If I can keep going, Ngati, this one is losing, I'm going to go get another one who's better than this one. Hey, Ngati Law is falling off, I'm going to go get another one who's better than that one. You shouldn't be able to compete with me at that level, or you shouldn't be able to compete with me over a prolonged period of time. I keep using time here as well because...
Yes, time. Okay, so then
So basically, George, what you
Okay,
are saying is that
yes.
Chiefs or Pirates, for that matter, are not being proactive when it comes to replacement. So they
They're
more
not
sort of
maximizing their resources. So maximizing
yes,
of resources doesn't necessarily just mean spending of money. Sundowns spent money when they had Stoichkov, but part of
sure,
the spending of the money was okay. Now let's spend money to go figure out where we plug the next hole. Okay, we'll bring in a technical director. Let's go plug another
sure,
hole. We're going to spend resources to go do this and do that and do that. And then when you look at Sundowns now and you wake up, it's, you know, we showed in the group that that difference between Chiefs' executive management and Sundowns' executive management. And you can see that all those were resources spent in order to bring in those people. You get what I mean?
yeah,
Bring in, do,
sure,
build, do whatever, you know? So
yeah,
I think over time, it's sensible that Sundowns is so far ahead of everybody within the league. You get what I
cool,
mean?
cool,
But
sure,
then
sure, sure,
the rest of the teams, there should be a vast difference between Chiefs and TS Galaxy. Vast.
sure, sure. No, I
You get
hear
what I
you.
mean?
Okay,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
my last contribution because I think
Yeah, I'll
this
let the
way
others as well.
I think this is where we part ways. Me and you have
Okay.
been coming on this line. I think now we're we're at an whatever it's called, you know, we're moving different ways. So for me, like people keep referencing the Liverpool model, you know, that they bring in players, they bring in not so much expensive players, and they're able to compete. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That, like Kuma said, Liverpool, or Liverpool, not in terms of history and everything like that, but in terms
Yeah.
of getting in young players and experienced players, is
Yeah.
super sport. So super sport, by that virtue, should be competing.
Who?
So my argument is, there is different models
Okay.
that can make teams succeed. You know,
No. We
yes,
agree there.
but
We agree there. But
yeah,
then I'll ask you the question: Who is
we're not
Supersports Van
disputing
Dijk?
that. We're not
Yeah.
disputing that.
Who is Supersports Van Dijk? The most expensive
okay.
defender at some point. Who is Supersports Becker? The most expensive. Gavin would probably argue that he's maybe 2-3 players away from going all the way. So
You know,
is it really the same?
the thing is, I think it's this Abutikus. I wish he can put on his thinking head a bit for some for this just conversation. We'll go back to his unusual self in a few. Abutikuso made a point that I think sometimes we underestimate the experience that Gavin Hans purchases. He has a lot of experienced players. Yes, he's always betting in players, but if you look at the team holistically, it always has experienced players in it, you know.
But are they the most expensive of the time? So Gavin Hunt with great signings would be incredible.
Here's the thing, right? Expensive does not mean talented. Different.
No, that's why I said best. Who's the best defender that Sundowns, that Klopp has beaten, that Gavin Hunt has beaten Sundowns too? I'm disputing the Liverpool argument. Because you could say Gavin and Klopp are similar, great. You could say they've got a development thing, but at key moments, Klopp didn't lose his best players that he developed. When Salah was not wanted, he came to Liverpool, became the best, didn't move, right? When he needed to shore up his defense, as he said in his own words, that I needed one or two signings in order to compete. Liverpool forked out the money in order to go get the best defender in the league. One of the best goalkeepers in the world, right? And that was key to what he was doing. But now, Gavin Hunt has the best player for one season. He builds a Masego, he builds a Tito, he builds even Campbell. Campbell will come along, and then at the time when Campbell's supposed to strike when the iron is hot, he's gone. That hasn't happened at Liverpool.
I think it's not, I'm not saying the exact same situation. Obviously, Liverpool is not anyone's academy. SuperSport is our academy, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is SuperSport is able to bet in young players and experienced players, right? And by that kind of model, they should be able to challenge a team to invest. My argument here is, and I think this is it for me, that there is different models for a team to succeed. Yes, the obvious model is invest. But I think it's kind of unfair to say a Super Sport, a Stellenbosch shouldn't be closer to Chiefs because Chiefs are spending more.
Okay,
There are
has
different
SuperSport
models.
not invested in development? That's an investment. That's the model. They chose the model.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I don't think they should be
But
close to Chiefs over time. Even
should be closer
Liverpool,
to Chiefs.
even Liverpool,
They
it's
should be
hot for
closer to
3
Chiefs.
years. It's hot for 3 years, and then you guys were out of the top 8 at some point for a couple of years. You rebuilt and came back up, and then you're probably going to go back down again, up and down. City, because they're able to refresh every year, stay number 1.
I'll let others in because
Okay.
but that's my argument
Yeah,
that a
so-
Super Sport should be competing with others and Stellenbosch. So there should be no much difference between Chiefs, Super Sport, and Pirates, looking at the models that each and everyone is using. That's my
Hey,
argument.
okay, guys, anybody else can jump in.
Yeah, George.
Yeah.
For the longest of time before Klopp came to Liverpool,
Mm.
we were also similar to SuperSport. Remember, we had superstars like we had Joe Suarez, we had Joe Torres, and Real Madrid took our cruise. You know, at one point they wanted to even to get our captain Gerrard. So only now we were able to hold on to our best players and do a continuation. So also, and that is why you are being unfair in saying SuperSport and Liverpool are not similar because of that scenario. My thinking is that as soon as SuperSport can also stand on its own 2 feet, they're gonna start holding on to their players.
And that's why it's different. Yeah, that's why it's different. Liverpool then. Don't say
Umo.
Liverpool now. My argument with the agent is saying is Liverpool now. And Liverpool now holds on to their players.
Yeah, like one thing that I wanted to add, what I wanted to add, guys, we are confusing a team that is competing with a team that is surviving. In Liverpool, they build to survive, I mean, to compete, not to survive. SuperSport, they are building to survive, not to compete. That's why you'll never find Liverpool selling its best players to its competitors. Which is, if now SuperSport can donate players to Sundowns, you can't say they are competing. Yes, you can say they are trying to survive. If Stellenbosch can say they sell their best players to Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, they are not competing. They are surviving. If every team, guys, or Abu Aston Villa can say sell their best players to Abu Man City, they are not competing. They are surviving. That's it.
Kumo, can I ask you something?
ask?
Can I ask you
Sure.
something, Kumo?
Can I
Let
ask?
me let Malume Kutso in first. Then, agent, you can ask your question to Kumo.
Fella, I just want to ask, which Cole Palmer was he not playing for Man City, and so to Chelsea? In Man City are only trying to survive. There are different reasons why you would sell a player. It's not a one size fits all. Liverpool also to continue, and one can argue that if Barcelona is really competing with Liverpool because they're trying to secure the Champions League. Liverpool also lost Abu Gini Wijnaldum, lost Abu Sadio Mane, unwillingly so. Lost them to people with more resources. So, really, it's fair to say SuperSport iyafana in Liverpool. SuperSport iyazama. You can see they're even trying, they're just failing. Abafani in Pirates that is able to secure. I'm telling you the truth. Abafani in Pirates that is able to win cups. You understand, Mr. Oti, with ngale mali abayispendi, we must question ukuthi is one trophy out of a possible 4. Is that a success? One trophy out of a possible 4. That's why they belong in this conversation. And to say they have mastered, it's incorrect, Mr. Woods. They are still doing what they did when the good doctor came in, buying everyone. Because I'll count Alimeza, Ufigile, wenzeni Alimeza? Was he a good fit to the team? Ungobeni, Ufigile, was he a good fit to the team? Semi Sihan has been lacking and not barking, loitering on the benches. Is he a good fit? Yip Mutuba, is he a good fit? I can go on. Are they a good fit? You can't say they've found the model. They've just found the model buying everyone, Mr. Wich. And if you buy everyone and you buy out the competition, you'll definitely get 1 or 2 trophies, Mr. Wich. So to say Chiefs is not learning from their mistakes, they are unable to learn like they legit buy everyone. Mukwana has been called up to the national team. He will be there. He's there. They're already discussing him. They're already discussing Chandra Campbell. We know this. We must be honest, Mr. Otiazi. They are very successful. I admire the fact that they won the title, but we must not pretend as if they won it by playing only.
Mm,
Yes, they
mm.
play a good brand of football, but we must also highlight with the resources have been a great trait towards them securing those league titles, and not only resources in terms of financial, but also resources in terms of mentally to say, Yazin, Chiefs is about to win the league. Let's buy George Maluleke, destabilize them. That's
Hey, you
cool.
guys want to start? Don't start wars, guys. Don't start
I'm
wars.
not touching
I think Malume Kuto. I think Malume Kuto. What the guys are failing to. Oh, okay. My point is basically that there's levels to models to things. There's levels. For example, if Kaizer Chiefs was buying only the top free agents who fit immediately into their team, they can turn over at a faster rate than Supersport can develop players. So Supersports, it's Brighton. Brighton does incredibly well. Their scouting is great. They find youngsters gems. They develop the gems, but the gems go, and that's their model, whatever it is. So if Brighton cannot turn over as quickly as Pep can go into a transfer window and say, I want the best here, the best there, the best there, the best there, the best there. And by the time when you've developed that kid, he's behind, right? Brighton, if by the argument of the gents, Brighton should be number 2. But why is it not number 2? It's not number 2 because Arsenal is spending hundreds of millions. We've spent close to 300 million, if I'm not mistaken, over the past 3 years, right? We've actually spent more than City, if I'm not mistaken. We're number 3. Liverpool has spent. These young players people are speaking about, Darwin Núñez was not cheap. Luis Diaz was not cheap. Some of the players that they've brought in, Abu Thiago, are not cheap players, right? So I'm fighting against that with the Liverpool example, that Liverpool's model is different to Supersport. Supersport's model would be closer to Liverpool if Supersport was one, keeping hold of Abu Masego for 2-3 years, and also being able to go out and spend 40 million, 30 million, even if it's on 2, 3, 4 players, right?
Let me interject. Can I interject? I think the problem here is we are debating example now. You know, it goes back to I don't want to mention Thierry Henry because I will go to another conversation, but we are debating the example. I'm not interested what model is or if Supersport is not Liverpool. The argument that I'm trying to get at is, right, over a long period of time,
yes,
let's say 7 years, isn't that Cape Town City, Supersport, Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs are always within that top 8 bracket, right? So now what I'm seeing is Supersport with that model of whether they sell they sell high and buy cheap, watch their players and integrate with youngsters. It's a model which is waiting for them. So it's a model which enables them to at least compete with our Chiefs.
I like that. Can I ask you a question though? Is Chiefs well run?
I don't think so.
If Chiefs is not well run and Chiefs is consistently within 3 or 4 points of Supersport, what would happen if Chiefs was well run with their resources?
So I think here's the conversation that I want to say it now, right? It may not be well run, right? But because of the model that you guys have, it enables the team to get results, right?
Could they do better?
They could do better.
So then,
can Supersport do better?
Not with their model. I think this is the top. I think this is the top of.
Listen, I think. Okay. I think Supersport can do better by holding on to their players more.
No, but I get we're debating the model. Supersport's model has been selling players. I get over however many years. I think Gavin Hunt is doing a miracle every year to put that team top 4. But now, when you look at the teams that are next to him, fine, then there's no reason then why Chiefs should be that close to Supersport when we know Chiefs is not necessarily the best run team. So my argument is that if Chiefs were able to change this model that they're doing wrong, right? Or whatever. I believe it's wrong. It may not be whatever, but if they were able to change it, they should be streets ahead of SuperSport, who don't have the luxury of changing model. Can you guys still hear me? Hey?
If I can say, Chiefs.
There we go.
Okay, I think it was me. I had muted. Sorry.
Oh,
let's
okay.
For argument's sake, Chiefs employs whatever, and it becomes well run. You know, that model is, yes, we'll get in 1-2 players in, but our model is to buy players, right? And SuperSport is saying, hey, Uzwan, you are 35 now. Sundowns is putting you on the bench. Come this side. You know, Campbell, we're developing you, but we're not keeping you. We're keeping you. We want to keep you, right? Let's say for a period of 3 years, because I think they can keep them for as long as that. 3 or 4 years, right? So with that model of combining young players and old players, and the Chiefs model of buying superstars, shouldn't the teams be more or less at the same point?
I think I found where we disagree. Where we disagree is I'm saying that SuperSport doesn't have that luxury. Gavin Hunt has complained about it every year. He's been asking Stan Matthews to do that. So SuperSport have their model. It's set. It's been set for years, 7 years. And to their credit, they've sharpened it to the point where they lose players every year, but they don't necessarily move. They're not going to go up and go win the league, but they're consistently second or third. They consistently go to they go to CAF Confed. They consistently do those things, right? It Chiefs, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I were to look at the books, it would be different. But it Chiefs has the luxury of changing. I'm not asking Chiefs to change their spending patterns or to change the development. I'm asking them to go, okay, fine. Instead of buying 6 players that don't fit into your team, how about you try buy 6 players that fit? How about you bring in a coach, instead of changing a coach 7 times, bring in a coach that's good and then match those things up. And I believe that they have another ceiling to go to, that SuperSport, if they wanted to compete, the amount of change they would need is far bigger than the amount of change Chiefs would need. Xolani?
Yeah, one question, Chad. Since Pirates is above you with 1 point.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, is Pirates well run?
Relatively well run, but not on the pitch. The pitch, there's a lot happening there.
But what number 5? If SuperSport model is not working.
Angiti, that's what I'm saying. That's why I included Chiefs and Pirates. The thumbnail right now on the show is Sundowns, Chiefs and Pirates. I include them in there because my argument started with Chiefs should not be close to Pirates, with Pirates' success over the years, and then Pirates and Chiefs according to what they spend. Pirates brings in 6 to 8 players every season, right? The other two should not be competing. Pirates is in the same boat as Chiefs, in my opinion.
Okay, so argument agent is legit. No one has the right to which model should be used. If it works for my team, then it works for my team. It doesn't play every season. It doesn't count.
But that's why I'm not arguing models. I'm saying that SuperSport has their model, and it's worked. Hey, it's incredible, their model, right? Pirates and Chiefs have more resources, but no model. And they're still 3-4 points away from SuperSport. If they were to get the proper model, if they were to spend their resources properly, similarly to what SuperSport is doing, but relatively because they've got more, shouldn't they be ahead of the SuperSport now? If they were fine, if they had the proper model, that my whole argument is that SuperSport is perfect. They can't do anything more. That's what they've chosen to do. Chiefs and Pirates are Chiefs and Pirates, but they've got more resources than the other teams relative to Sundowns. It would be like Sundowns spending 150 million in a season and finishing 3rd. What would you guys say?
But my question, George, was: is Pirates well run? And you said they're relatively so.
But not on the pitch. That's what I said. But not on the pitch. Did I not say that?
No, I'm just George.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no, the
Marakolani.
thing is, no, Theo, man, Mr. George, you are giving a politician answer.
No, it's not a
What is
politician.
not on the
no.
pitch? It's not politician. What is not on the pitch? What is not on the pitch?
Commercially,
What is on the-
look, commercially, Chiefs is one of the best in Africa. Commercially. So you could argue that
But-
commercially they are well run. But we all see Chiefs on the pitch and in the transfers. So on the
Let's talk
football
about Pirates.
side,
Let's talk about
wait,
Pirates. Let's talk about-
I'm getting there. On the football side, they're not well run. Pirates is relatively well run commercially and as a club, behind the scenes, admin wise. You can't touch Pirates. But on the pitch, what were we complaining about last night? Rivero's making the wrong subs. Players are playing out of position. They can't score. That's what I mean. Well run doesn't mean Super Sport is. Look, okay. Ooh,
No,
Super Sport.
no.
Wait, guys.
Wait,
Super Sport is
we are
well
continuing.
run. Whoa,
We are
Super Sport is
continuing
well
this
run.
guy.
Very well run is Super
No.
Sport.
Now we are
Pirates has been
continuing.
successful than Sundowns locally.
3
But
trophies
not
in 1.5 season, and we progressed to the next stage, a 4th trophy. And you are saying we are not doing well. That is a very successful season.
Malume Kuso,
very successful
in the
team.
league. Guys, what are you guys
But
hearing? I keep
why
saying
No, we
in
can't
the
say
league.
In PSL,
Why is it in the league?
there's 4 competitions.
Guys, what are we
Yeah, why is
measuring?
the league-
No, but
maybe.
guys. That's why I came in earlier and I said the Sundowns is struggling outside of the league, but in the league, because the
Yeah.
point was agent Gokunywa league.
Yes.
No,
What are you guys
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
then?
no,
no,
it was the
no,
league.
Guys, no, listen, guys. We cannot say we measure a team just by the league, right? Yes, for me personally, I measure the progression of the team by how they progress on the league, but we must look at the league as a whole. The league has 3
Okay.
cups.
Okay.
The league has 3 cups.
Yes.
Pirates won 2
Mm.
and Sundowns won 1.
Mm.
We cannot in any world say Pirates didn't have a successful season.
Okay. Let's get the baseline correct. I'm saying
And
Pirates.
can I say this? Can I say this? We can say a team can fluke 1 cup, but to fluke 2 cups, guys, no.
No.
Three.
Okay, guys. I hear
Oh,
you.
you can be lucky, agent. You can be lucky.
Theo, wait.
Aye,
Theo,
one
my
was
God.
a fluke and the other one was a cheat goal. Whatever, like
Yeah.
3.
I'm not
Okay.
cheated their way to the final of M10A. Yeah, final letter.
No, guys. Okay, fine. Let's include the trophies. Chiefs was winning trophies all the time. We were trophy kings. Always one trophy a season. But we never got to CAF. We don't have a star, for example, right? What I'm talking about as well is the consistency. So then Pirates wins their things. Great, successful season, they've got a trophy. But then in the league, they fell out Champions League qualification now, and now they might be battling to get back to number 2 in order to go to the CL. My point stemmed from Sundowns and Chiefs and Pirates in a 30-game season, long haul, where everybody is equal, right? At some point, they should be, if they were done correctly, if they were spending resources correctly, they should be further than a super sport. That's what I'm saying. Mina, that you guys are talking about, I'm not necessarily there.
I think
But
that's
yeah,
the
you can add the other.
And I disagree with you when you say Chiefs doesn't have a model. Chiefs has a model.
That's not working.
Whether it's not working or not is neither here nor there.
I didn't
but
say they don't
Chiefs
have. I
has a
said it's the
model.
wrong model. Guys. Theo, talung.
No, but Chiefs, even if, guys, I think here's the thing. The model is working. I mean, the model is a model. The only thing that you guys are failing is to implement the model perhaps correctly. But the model, even if Chiefs change it, I mean, Chiefs change the recruitment and everything, it's still going to be the same model of we want the best players around. It's the same as Sundowns model, that we want the best players. It's different from a super sport model which says yes.
You're arguing models,
Like
Adrian. No one's arguing models.
Okay.
Even if you can argue models, I can make an example. If it is, you can hire and say, Kevin Johnson, and they use them as undercover coaches. You can't say that model is successful. We know it's a bad model. That's why I'm saying, even though it's there, if it's not working, it's not working. But the point that Mr. Ochi, I think, was trying to make was on the field or on the 30 game stretch, the Chiefs and Pirates, looking at the resources they have, the money, the experience that they have in the league, there should not be even a point whereby when Paris is going to play against Spurs, we should be thinking are they going to win or lose based on the type of the players that they've acquired. In super sport, they sell players and produce players. Look at Liverpool. You guys made an example in Liverpool. Liverpool is a McAllister at the moment, an international player in Argentina. You cannot go to SuperSport and say there's who we can point at SuperSport. They defend the field. You can't do that. That's what I'm trying to say. If the league is competitive, if the teams are being run well, choosing the Pirates, they should be easily up go SuperSport now go Stellenbosch. That's the point.
I think this is why my problem is. My problem is you guys, for the league to be said to be competitive, Chiefs and Pirates must be up there. That's it.
Exactly.
As the highest
For me, it's a
spenders.
Thank you.
league.
I like the honesty. Thank you.
As the
For me,
highest
it's a league,
spenders.
really.
Stellenbosch is richer than
Yes.
Chiefs and Pirates. They don't spend. If Stellenbosch was spending, I would also look at Stellenbosch and say, Mara Stellenbosch, Johan Rupert is right there. Spend mali kahle, go and compete with Sundowns.
No,
SuperSport is run by a multinational. Wait. SuperSport is run by a multinational company. They should be the highest spenders in the league, or can be, but they're not. It's not their model, as you say. So I'm saying that as people who are already expending the second and third most resources within a league, you're already doing that. You should be ahead of a super sport with a proper model. I even said, fix the model or get a new one, but whatever's happening now is not working. Then I use the example of, if Pirates, we say that they can't score goals, Jose is making all those mistakes, but Pirates can win 2 trophies and be 2-3 points away from SuperSport and Cape Town City. Imagine what would happen if Pirates had those things fixed. Should they not be better than the Cape Town City? Because I don't think Cape Town City has the latitude, or SuperSport has the latitude to change or upgrade their model to that point. That's what I'm saying. I don't think SuperSport even wants to. Stan Matthews does not want to spend money. Gavin has been crying. He could be great. Chiefs is spending money. So, okay, guys, can you assess over a 7-year period, how come, man, every year you're not learning? I even use Sundowns as an example. Sundowns, Motsepe buys it. I think he won the league. Then Pirates wins the league. Chiefs wins the league, I think. All the while where Sundowns are spending the most. But over time, they realized that, man, we can't just keep spending money. Let's build and let's make the structures proper and then do the things that we need to be number one. Therefore, their model plus their resources has made them number one by far, rightfully so.
But you could also argue
Okay,
with
that's not a
SuperSport
question.
has.
That's not a question. I have a question, guys. We are saying Chiefs and Pirates are spending. How much was the most expensive Pirates player?
I don't know.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Who was bought of late? Who was actually bought?
Is this SuperSport paying? Yeah, is SuperSport paying as much as Pirates?
But
players.
yeah, they definitely are paying more than Pirates. I can tell you for free.
SuperSport's paying more than Pirates.
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, I can.
I'll
stick to Chiefs again. I'll stick to Chiefs again.
Even Kumo was saying it. Kumo was saying it. SuperSport pays well.
Then Pirates.
But SuperSport doesn't get 8 players every year. Great players. Kin
They
Beauty.
pay well in terms of salaries. Salaries they pay well to SuperSport, yes.
Then Pirates.
Well,
Yes, there could be.
Hey,
Even
yeah,
Sundowns.
that's-
Okay, wait, guys. Let's do a fact check. Who Pirates? The last time I checked, who was getting paid, I think around 600,000, if I'm not mistaken, or 400. Then SuperSport, who's getting paid more than that?
Oh, and I'm only referring to what Tuso Pala said.
No, guys.
No, okay. But let's look at it logically. My
Can I ask something?
argument,
Can I ask,
my,
can I ask
my,
something? Can I ask something?
uh,
Can I ask something? Between Pirates and Chiefs, I mean Pirates and SuperSport. Is it the thing is? I think this is where it's difficult for us to what is it called, to compare, because we don't have the books to back it up. I think the problem that we have is, from my logic and from what I've heard from former players, is you find that a team like Kaizer Chiefs has maybe 2, 3, 4 biggest earners, right? And then all the others are winning a bit way less, And then you get to teams where, like SuperSport, where, remember, with them, you have to attract players. The reason why all this sent to them is money, So I think with them, it's a case of, there may not be a player who is earning 1 million at SuperSport, but if you were to combine all the salaries of SuperSport players and all the salaries of Orlando Pirates, maybe SuperSport players in total may earn more. I think that's maybe the point that Abutuku was trying to make.
And I hear him, but then I'll go back again and say, are we really going to say that the access to resources, the resources that Pirates have, are the same as SuperSport?
Can I correct that statement, Mr. Utsi? I just checked now. With SuperSport, I think there's more than 4 or 5 players that are getting paid under 60,000, even including Ubando Dalaga left, the passer. They are all getting paid less than 50,000.
See, it's all speculation, because no one
all right.
advertises their salaries. We just speculating.
But okay, salaries aside, Kumo, salaries aside. Can SuperSport turn over the on paper quality that Pirates is turning over every year?
Pirates has quality. No.
Yeah, but why do you think there are players in Bafana Kutum and stop being biased? Oh,
Mahupa is quality.
Hi guys. Mahupa is Bafana striker.
Okay.
Again, you guys think Pirates has quality, and that's exactly what's wrong with our PSL. I've been complaining, Gary. What the hell are these Pirates players doing in our Bafana? Because there are better players in their positions. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm just being a bit nasty, but we don't have like whenever we think of quality, I wouldn't necessarily think of a Pirate. And yes, I'm being biased there, like I eat and Giragabom. Because of Kaizer. I mean, like, for now, look at the squad. How do you? I know Pesitau didn't play proper at the recent FCON, but are you really gonna choose him over Makopa? We were told because Makopa is tall, that's why he's in the squad. We must listen to what you guys keep on saying when you justify using.
Leave Bruce
Play the Makopa ball.
Well, Bruce Apege.
But can I finish my now racing Nagi in a start? But anyway, I don't know what the Pirates players are doing in the squad. You say quality. When I compare the quality compared to what I have, compared to my academy, I give all. Honestly, I give all. Maybe could take you when you're failing. Maybe maybe that. But
we just fought too large now, and then you're saying they don't have quality.
Sundowns
again. If it was a Pirates player, I would
you
say,
just bought him from Pirates.
Quality we have. Even Motaung, fun. As I say, some quality.
The only problem I have with the conversation, and I think what tends to happen in the PSL, and I think I guess let me look at this out. I guess my only thing that I'll say, my last thing, we have a tendency with the PSL to pretend as though all the teams are on the same level. That it's Sundowns at the top, true, and then it's everybody else. My issue with the league, even at other leagues, yes, Man City wins everything. Yes, Man City can get 100 points and be Centurions, right? But there's a difference between City going to Liverpool, going to Arsenal, going to Tottenham, going to all of these other teams, right? There's a marketed difference. All I'm saying is, for me, if after 9 years, a team like Kaizer Chiefs there's no difference. Let me not touch Pirates. A team like Kaizer Chiefs, there's no difference from 9 years ago to now, right? There's no model changes. There's no model updating. As agents spoke about models, there's no model updating. There's no learning that is happening. I give it to Supersport. Supersport has learned. Supersport had to go through Bocaitano and Gavin had to leave. And then they were like, we're going to bring back Gavin because we understand the level that Gavin can push us up to. Great. I'm not going to hold them. But these other teams were not all equal, guys. We're not all equal. And for me, it's a shame in the PSL that number 8 in the league is 3 points away from number 3 or 4 or 5, right? Who's 3 points away from the bottom. And they're further, Sundowns is further away from everybody else than everybody else is from each other. Fine, you could make that competitive, pseudo-competitive, but then for me, it takes away certain things. That means that, Botswana, you can train at a high school, you can do all the stuff, we'll forgive you. And I think that has been happening at Kaizer Chiefs. If I speak about my club, that has been happening at Kaizer Chiefs for a while, where we look at them and we go, but guys, you guys, when Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates were at the top, and let me stick to Kaizer Chiefs. When Kaizer Chiefs was winning trophies, was at the top, was consistently number 1 and number 2 and number 3, was not dropping back, were winning trophies every year. Those guys had a model that worked. They maximized that model all the way. And there was a big gap between the other teams to the point where people are complaining. Good time, and it's unfair. I guess that was the complaint. Yo, you guys are both black label. You can generate more money. Yeah. Why? Because we're using it to the top that we could. Sundowns, in this example. Sundowns is maximizing to the top within the league. But anyway, yeah.
Mr. OT.
Mm.
You see, this is what I wanted to talk about before. I think I asked maybe a question that sparked the interruption in Siras. I was still talking.
Yeah.
You see, we are talking about success and resources and directing. What has Supersport achieved, Mr. Uti, over the past 2 years?
Exactly my point. But
So
but then,
when we are saying Supersport has a better model than Chiefs, are we not being unfair?
well, they play CAF Confed more than Chiefs. They're higher more than Chiefs. More points more than Chiefs.
But Mr. OT, we know Chiefs. Yeah, wonder if anyone paid attention last season, Chiefs took foot off the pedal when they saw which we won't get the net bank and we're not chasing the league. They don't want to for CAF. We know them.
Then they fired the coach
because of pressure and that
guys.
No, the coach that they fired, they did not. They just demoted. They were like, boy,
They hid him.
Yeah, they hit him because they know which they instructed him with boy foot off the pedal. Gavin Hunt was fired with maybe foot off the pedal and we are pressed, but boom. You understand?
Isn't that part of what I'm saying then?
So Chiefs would rather be number 4 than number 2.
Exactly.
So let's not pretend as if Chiefs is struggling. It's on
exactly. Exactly. Even if you go with that, exactly.
Chiefs.
You are dealing with Kuta, George. It's on purpose. Okay. You are dealing with
No. I'm saying even if he looks at it that way, that is a model that is not built to go win. So if they're doing it on purpose, then Botswana is the model they've chosen. They're going to be 4th behind Supersport. They could be better, according to what Malume Kuto is saying, but they're the ones saying no. So even in that example, I'm not agreeing.
Witty, someone just 1, 2, or 3 cups in suddenly he thinks his team are the best in South Africa, and now he's gonna come for a Sundowns. Before those 2 seasons and 7 years drought to go Orlando, and now they're asking a simple question: do you think money buys you success? Who cares? Who cares that I'm consistently playing and now you can't even get past group stages? It
was on purpose.
And now he's gonna tell us there's 2 medals who go so way to 95. He's Chiefs, his arch rivals. And he forgets now we've got 3 CAF medals, Pretoria alone. 2016 2001 silver ne ifuneka Kev and the newly competition barke AFL and then I straight to Norco Loftas. And now you're gonna say Sundowns are consistent. Man doesn't really buy success because of Sundowns. So if it had to buy success, it should be winning everything. Now you're gonna talk like this way. Now, as an Orlando Pirates fan, who winning something for the past 11 years, we winning trophies in 11 years, and you're gonna act as if like your team it does. Who brags about saying we consistently in CAF championships positions? Guys, already no, like
it's about to become spicy. It's about to become
no.
spicy. I think I want us to finish this conversation so that the boxing match can start.
No. Luckily for him, I've got load shedding. I can't too. So hopefully, I can also chance or reply.
but I think in my closing, so that you give them at least 15 minutes of that time, so that you can see, maybe we'll say TKO. But I think, like the Bible says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You know, Theo said the truth, that you guys just want Chiefs to dominate and Chiefs to be there, and that is when the league is competitive. I like his honesty, that's why I like him. He's honest, But like I said, it's for me, I feel like there are different ways of skinning a cat, As long as the cat gets killed, that is fine. So
has Chiefs skinned the cat?
Like I said, No, this is my closing argument, because now I want to argue. Has Chiefs skinned the cat? The thing is, you have been saying SuperSport has been consistently been number 2, number 3. Without Sundowns, they would have won the league.
I love it, yeah.
Argument, right? So that model is working, The thing is, most of the time, I can say this. Without the women's cities playing now, Liverpool would have won more trophies. I mean, more league titles. Sometimes in life, you have to look at what is in front of you.
Yes.
We have a team for the past 7 years in terms of dominance, not in terms of cups and winning cups, but in terms of dominance. I think we've distinguished the two for people like Kuzo. It has been at the apex of African football. So you have the super team, the super strikers of Africa here, and you have other teams. So for us to say the other teams has not been winning the league as a way of saying we're skinning the cat, or
no one said that. No one said that, agent.
No, but my point is, right, let's say, like you're saying, for me, I find that the league is completely competitive if the points from number 2 to number 8 or number 8, whatever, number 7 is 4 points. That for me shows competitive. It means everyone can beat everyone. Everyone is applying himself. Everyone is killing the cat or whatever it is. If the cat is to get number 2 or number 3, then everyone is doing it. So for me, the league is competitive as it is. Just that you guys want Chiefs and Patrice to make. That's my closing argument.
Agent. You see, hey Mara, agent is doing too much. You're politicking this thing. Don't politic this thing. It's simple what I'm saying. Whether it was Chiefs, whether it was Pirates, I even said Chiefs, Pirates. If Stellenbosch was spending as much as Chiefs and Pirates, or okay, at least getting in the players, if Stellenbosch had the resources that Chiefs and Pirates had, if SuperSport had the resources of Chiefs and Pirates, I would be saying SuperSport should be far and away from Chiefs and Pirates. That's what I'm saying.
That's our difference. You see, the model, like I said, sometimes I think maybe we have to define my way of defining a model. A model says, how do you get in players?
No, and I'm saying Gavin Hunt's model, if he was able to spend 150 million on top, would maybe win the league.
What I want to do is,
can I add something?
Can I say this to Josh before I hit you? What I'm trying to say is, there is a way of winning model. That's what I talk about models. Yes. Your model, the model that you prefer, it's like football. You guys have
I don't prepare.
Agent, I haven't said. Let me speak. What I'm saying is, it's like football. You guys want football to be playing from the back. You don't want to ball. But my point is, your point is there should be investment and resources that Stellenbosch and SuperSport should be spending as much money so they
Versus
should
on your model. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no.
If
Now my point
SuperSport,
is-
if SuperSport had enough money, they could pump it into their model and he'd be able to keep Masego. Right? He's
It's
not
not
changing
for
model.
me-
Check,
for
right?
me-
He's not changing models. He's going, I'm keeping my best players because now we can afford it. Then I can add on top other players should I need it. I can carry on with the same exact model. He can carry on developing, but he wouldn't have to leave them. One model that could be helped by resources. Chiefs, I'd never said what model I want from them. All I said was, it's not working currently. Whatever they're doing is not working. So find something that works and put the resources you have behind them. SuperSport with resources would be scary. You wouldn't, Awana Sundowns wouldn't be laughing as hard if SuperSport could keep all their players that they've developed, if SuperSport could inject one or two great players into that team, as Gavin Hunt complains about every year. So the resources doesn't mean go spend money, hey, go buy the biggest ones, hey, go do one thing. It's, here's your model. SuperSport is maximizing it. More money, SuperSport would be incredible.
What I'm saying is, you guys are buying players, right? Whether they're the right players or not, but you guys are getting the best of the
Yes.
best. Whether it's a
Buy
cheap
the
players
right
or not,
players.
whether the right players or whether they're not, the fact is you guys want to get the best of the best. SuperSport with that model of
The
quality
right players. I'm saying stop buying the best nje and buy the right best. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you're talking about Eve. The thing is, you're talking about Eves. You know, my argument is the way the league is structured is fair, is competitive. You know, because SuperSport with that model of buying or promoting young players and selling them, it's a sustainable model for them as far as we've seen. They will ask Ajax Cape Town about how long they can keep it, but for now, it is a successful model. And whether Chiefs is doing whatever they're doing, whether it's right
Can
or
it be
wrong, but they
better,
have a model.
agent? Can it be better?
Yeah.
SuperSport.
The model can be better because
How?
if you're putting ifs, let's put ifs
How?
now. The model
How?
can be better. I'm going there. The model can be better, right? If what you said, that they should keep hold of their young players.
By getting
And then
more
after they win
resources.
something, then they can release them.
By getting more resources. How do they hold them
No,
on?
no, it's not. The thing is, right? Getting
agent.
resources, it doesn't. How can I put this? You'll have to pay them more. You'll have to pay them more.
But you'll keep them.
Right.
That's the point, again.
Yes, you'll keep them. So that is a way of improving that model. So even if with that model of right now we just want to promote players, they can promote players for 3 years, maintain them, and Chiefs with buying the right players. I still feel that the two teams should still be competing. They should be within 4 points of each other. So that's my argument.
When now you're
What else?
agreeing and
Feedback is-
disagreeing. Walume Kutso, I guess.
Are we really suggesting ukuthi ilona ina nyuku?
No. They don't spend it. I get they've chosen not to.
iSuperSport.
Yeah, they've chosen not to. That's why I was saying, or if SuperSport was spending.
And again, Mr. OT, I will ask these questions to say, by this season, besides the beginning of this season, how many players has Chiefs bought? Because Chiefs are fine in SuperSport. How many players has Chiefs bought?
Quite a few over the years. 9 years.
Yes. I'll go and tell you, Mr. OT, but tell me,
Yeah.
by this season, but tell me, our Chiefs just like SuperSport.
Tebe, Mar,
Time.
Dolly.
No, Steve was not bought.
Go them in.
Steve was not bought. Dolly was not bought.
Were they
These
not
are
paid
paid.
for? Malume Kutso, were they not brought in?
It's only OX.
Whoa, were they not brought in?
Oh, yeah, oh.
Is that not a signing fee? Whoa, is that not a signing fee?
Mr.
Oh,
OT.
but can you for
Mr.
free?
OT. Then
It's free.
Ah, guys. Yeah.
Mr. OT.
Mr.
Hi,
OT.
Mr. OT.
I like it.
Oh.
I like what you are saying.
So when I say
Then
they're spending
wait,
resources,
wait,
signing
wait,
fees don't count.
Wait. I like what you are saying. Please apply the very same logic to SuperSport.
Yes.
We cannot say SuperSport have chosen not to spend money when you suggest that Chiefs is also not spending money. then talk
No,
about
I
signing
didn't
fee.
suggest that Chiefs is
We
not
must-
spending
we
money.
must
I
talk about
said,
signing fee.
okay, is the
SuperSport.
signing fee the same at SuperSport as the Chiefs?
It could be more.
But Chiefs is
They're
not
asking
selling
sometimes.
players.
So
Man.
are they not spending
In a
resources?
scale
Whether
is
it's a
different,
transfer, whether it's a free transfer, is that not resources?
SuperSport is spending, so we must not say SuperSport.
Are they spending as much as Chiefs?
Yay.
Are they selling? Are they not selling as much as Chiefs?
And,
Aputikuto.
Guys, I'm
and
sorry.
Monga Chiefs. And Monga Chiefs, I'm sure they have the most, if not just behind. They are competing in SuperSport among development players. In
Who
their
play?
lineup.
Are they playing or are they getting? Are they playing or are they getting replaced every year in the starting lineup? How many games has Mashani played when we brought in Tove and Santi? How many games has Shabalala played when we brought in Abum Tanzan, Abomodi, Abopotan? How many games have they played? These youngsters.
Mr. Oti, let's
Which
check
youngster?
the lineup. Let's check the lineup your Chiefs last game. How many products development are in that lineup?
How many? Okay, before that, how many
They're
players have played?
experimenting, Mosi.
How many games did
Aputikuto, you're
Duba
talking
play
about
this
an
season?
experiment, Mosna.
Just like SuperSport.
Ability.
Mr. Oti.
How many games did
Mr.
Duba
Oti.
play? Whoa.
Just like SuperSport.
I'm
How
asking
many
you a
games
question.
has Rasibocha played? How
I'm
many
asking-
games has Rasibocha played?
Malume Kuzo, you asked me, yeah? You
How
asked
many
me, the youngsters. I'm saying, how many youngsters have played for Chiefs? I said this to Chiefs fans and they fought me. How many of them have made it onto the pitch and played 3, 4, 5 games?
Uvuma
But
has
they
played
follow the
7.
squad.
Hey, how many have made it
For
there?
the sake that you're still calling Ungobo.
So then,
For the sake that
How, guys?
what
Mr.
I'm saying,
Oti.
wait, for the Mr. Oti, for the sake that we are still calling Uvuma, Ungobo, Bomashiana, my youngsters, it shows that there's a big problem at Chiefs.
Someone,
You can't be
wait.
calling those guys youngsters.
Someone just mentioned Masego. I can also easily mention Uplom because Masego is gone from SuperSport.
Blom was a 3-year player.
I
Masego played 1
Yes,
year.
my problem was
Masego played 1 year and he had to get moved on. That's a different situation.
Because move on.
And
Blom
there is-
played 4 years at Chiefs.
And the reason why Chiefs had to lose. No, but the reason why Chiefs had to get rid of Uplom is because of the contract out there. That's why Chiefs got angry at him. That's why they got rid of him.
But Chief didn't spend money to
Aye. Okay, wait.
Fulani.
Guys,
wait.
how many
Let me say it like
wait,
this.
Mr. Oti.
Say it, Theo.
I wanna ask
Speak, Theo.
one thing.
Speak, Theo. Speak.
Okay, I want to ask, how many players has Chiefs sold in the last 5 seasons? Compared to
I don't know.
SuperSport? Sold. That's a thing. We're buying, not selling. We're not SuperSport is selling than buying. That's why Sundowns is fat because of those players. You see, now you're making me turn against my
You
team,
guys are
man.
making it a different conversation. Okay, guys. Can SuperSport currently, as they're running, can SuperSport generate more resources than Chiefs?
Yeah, Oti.
SuperSport is rich.
Kumo, as they're running right now, Muleme Kuto, they don't spend their riches. Have SuperSport generated as much as guys.
Can I interject, Mr. Oti? Yeah, Utio is saying Chiefs are not selling their players. Of which you are asking SuperSports not to sell their players. If SuperSport not selling their players, they become a better team. So why is Chiefs not becoming a better team?
No.
The model is wrong.
No, whoa. Let me answer. Olani, my example for SuperSport is, as Gavin says himself, if he could hold on to Masego for 2-3 years, he would be in a different situation. Tito, he mentions a lot of players. He'd be in a different situation in SuperSport. Because, in his words, I have to start over every year. So I would assume that from his example, he's saying that I lose some points every year or something because I have to teach players to play in my system instead of keeping these players that are attracted to Sundowns and those guys. If maybe he kept them and was able to pay them more and was able to keep them, as SuperSport can probably do through multi-choice, but they don't, right? It Chiefs, Yona, it's in and out. Yafana. That's what I'm saying. I enjoy SuperSport. They're maximizing everything. But you can hear it from Kevin Hunt's complaining. Kevin Hunt, the horse's mouth, that guys, if I could hold on to my players, and to hold on to those players takes resources, whether it comes from your mother body giving you money, which they're not doing, or whether it comes from wherever. It changes players every year. That is chincha. Ngantela last ukuthi, why doesn't Chiefs go? Instead of getting a dolly, paying him that signing fee, then giving him $1 million, they could probably get 3 or 4 players from that money that probably fit into the team better. That's what the decisions, it's not about just there, throw money. That's not the conversation I'm having here. Gavin has done incredibly. But if he had more resources, he'd be gone. He'd be gone. I wouldn't even be saying Chiefs must be number 2. You all are trying to make it about Chiefs and Pirates.
No, it's the same as Stellenbosch, guys. Even Barker cried about the same thing when Sundowns took Mendieta and we took Ox. He cried about the same thing, saying, I've already built a team around these guys. Now I have to start again.
I'm being unfairly treated today. As I'm speaking,
You asked
The problem is you're controversial. The problem is you're controversial. People jump in.
No, I was still on the platform.
You asked the question.
My man, Mr. OT, this is the Super Sport lineup, ne? The Super Sport lineup, the previous lineup had Gos. Is Gos a product of Super Sport? They had Passer. After Passer, they had Sianda Tulu. They had Magaman. They had Campbell. They had Lungu. They had Undrov. They had Brent Probler. Are these products of Super Sport?
Are these top tier players?
They definitely are. Undrov, Probler, Magaman, Sianda Tulu, Passer.
Are these top tier players? Malube Kuto.
No, Ricardo Gos.
Only small Pasera. Is he a top tier player? Why would Chiefs not let him keep him?
Chiefs have let go of a lot of people.
And what was that point? What was my argument to begin with?
Mr. Ochi, I'm showing you that you cannot say
One question. Can I ask one question?
Mr.
I'm very consistent.
Wait, can we do this? Let's let Velile talk because he's new. Let's let Velile talk because he's new.
Imthengisile. Upase was playing overseas. Imthengisile, didn't let him go, man.
Ngiyabonga Velile.
And then, mina angikhulumi ngaleyo Velile.
Passer was playing for Portsmouth.
Mina ngithi Velile, mina ngithi. And let me ask you because you knew, ne? Should Pirates and Chiefs be at the same level as SuperSport?
You're asking the wrong question. Guys,
what was Okay, agent, ask the question then.
The question I'm with you, right, is this, right? Here's the question that we're facing. The question is for a team, let's say, to win things, right?
Not the league. You never said win the league. You added the league, not the league.
I said things. I never said the league.
And take out Sundowns. You're being vague on purpose. Take out Sundowns again.
Okay, let's take Sundowns. I can do that, right? My question becomes, right, and this is where me and Abu is differing. That should a team or can a team win only those things by investing in many players? Or
no, that's not what I said.
Okay, by investing, or a team can win by a different model of whatever, bringing in players or combining things, old players and young players like Super Sport. Should those two teams, which have resources in terms of buying power, and teams that develop, combining that with whatever model they choose, should those two teams be the same, or the one with most resources should be above? That is the question.
Here's the question. Let me ask you.
Let
me say it properly. Let me say it properly, Velile. Sorry, let me say it properly. The question was, what I said was, Chiefs and Pirates, for the resources they can access and the resources that they use, year in, year out, ne? If those things were done correctly, resources meaning facilities, resources meaning staff, resources meaning players, resources meaning anything, they should be far ahead of a Super Sport who's currently maximizing everything they have. It's like they're doing better than where they're meant to be. And then I'll even take away names. In Super Sport, let's say multi-choice, they invest in Super Sport. Super Sport. Should we not expect that team to be far ahead of everybody else? Everything is going right, plus resources. Sundowns, but we'll take it out.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
But manje ufake enye ilook ushukele ekugcineni ukuthi i-multi choice if is putting that money. So you change your question, you change your question completely in terms of my understanding. Because now
I wanted to change the context in terms of agent keeps saying it's Chiefs or Pirates.
No, but
if Chiefs and if SuperSport was investing like Chiefs and Pirates, if MultiChoice was investing in SuperSport like Chiefs invests, facilities, all of that stuff, ne? I wanted to change it because there was names involved. I don't like the names aspect because it changes the conversation. If MultiChoice was as committed as Chiefs and Pirates are to buying players and doing all of that stuff, ne? Should we not expect SuperSport to be further away from teams that are not doing that or can't?
So and then your result to be based on what? On the team's performance on the pitch or what?
We made it the log. We started with the table to say that on the table, because it's easiest to see the points, right? It started on the table. Then people started going all over the place. But
No, that's why I needed clarity, because if you are going to say holistically in terms of resources, each team, but we know if you couldn't put quotes.
I think he's talking somewhere else. Malume mute
something.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry.
So young Tolabab. So it depends, because if you're going to say resources holistically or only on the field of pitch, because a soccer team, remember, is made up of different elements. You've got your administration, and then you've got your team management, all the resources that comes with the team that we see Sundowns that have assembled, your technical directors, your conditioning coach, there's corner assessment analyst, video analyst, and if all those things, let's say both teams they are providing, then we can compensate. They should be in the same level. Also in terms of players that they are pushing, and also the quality of the coach that they employ to coach the team. They should be on the same level. But if another leg of it is not functioning, if your administration is not functioning, but you've got players, yes, on the field, but they're not supported by what the administration is doing, then there should be discrepancies there. It won't be equal. That's why I wanted to find out good about Mosho. The results should be on the field of play or not. Was those results, if they are positive, like the way they are, go Sundowns, they are made of combined on all the things that are also happening behind the scenes. In terms, look at the way, even though when they travel to Africa, they sometimes even charter a plane and leave in a week before. They don't wait for anything. So everything is just running smoothly. So it's a combination of all those aspects when it comes to running a team. So if a choice decided not to pump in money as it used to be, good SuperSport. Remember, SuperSport United is a subsidiary group. Multi-choice. There are so many groups there. You've got your Showmax, you've got the SuperSport Sport, and you've got your Zanzibar. It's so many. So, but if they decided and said, okay, let the SuperSport operate on its own with the budget as allocated and what the revenue that it will bring, and also if the revenue that will bring, where are you going to generate that revenue? It's either your K-checkings, you're selling players, or also winning trophies. That's the only stream of revenue, and also getting a sponsorship. So if you don't get a sponsorship for this season or for the past 2 seasons, how can you make sure that you maximize profit for this year moving forward, and also make sure you've got the proper quality players? You sell Masego maybe for Sundowns to 20 million, you sell Masangwan maybe to Pirates maybe for 10 million, you sell Campbell maybe for 20 million, you've got 60 million revenue that comes in. So it becomes part of your business model now moving forward. So you want to say swinging like Safani as compared to the other teams whereby all the resources they're structured into a team, the support in terms of backroom staff, the coaches, and also the players. And ask me if I did make sense.
Can I say something? What is poisonous is not always the answer. What is poisonous is the question.
Agent, cheeky question every time we have an argument. Cheeky, but anyway, go on, Agent.
No, because really, here's the argument. You see, the disingenuous of the question from my brother George here is this. He's saying if Chiefs does things well, and you have to compare it with
because they're not doing it well now. The current setup, they're not doing it well now. That's why I'm arguing.
Listen. The problem with George is this. He's saying if Chiefs maximizes things, right? But he wants to compare it with a SuperSport, which is not maximizing his thing, right? What I'm saying is, let's say the teams. What I'm saying is this. Let's say the teams maximize. Each team maximizes it's everything. It has everything running smoothly, right? But then we have a Chiefs. This is where the difference comes in between a Chiefs and a super sport. Here comes in with the Chiefs. A Chiefs is based on buying top-notch players, top of the range, the right players, right everything, right? And then you have a super sport, right? Which is meant for developing. It wants develop players and the so-called watch players or players returning from overseas which other teams don't want, right? But its main strength is developing players, right? But because they have the resources to keep these players, or because they have the money to keep these players, they can keep them for 3 or 4 years, right? Now, the argument is, should super sport or should Chiefs be way ahead of?
No, you're jigging the argument, Happy. You're jigging the argument.
That is argument. That's the argument.
I said, after 9 years, if Chiefs is in the same exact place after expending so many resources and not learning, it doesn't make sense. The argument was, now you super sport right now with the model that they're using right now. And you have Chiefs with the model that they're using right now that I say is not working. If Chiefs could change this model and get better, same spending, same everything. So when we say we're going to go get players, we're not getting random players. So Funama player, right? We're not changing money spent. We're not changing any of that, right? And we're bringing in those guys into the team. And we're doing it year on year as Chiefs has been doing for years now, right? Year on year. After 7 years, there should be a difference between us and Supersport, who right now, Supersport's model is working, but it's at its peak. MultiChoice doesn't want to give in more money. I'm not asking Chiefs to throw, I'm not asking Chiefs, no wait, I'm not asking Chiefs to throw more money into it. I'm saying, instead of turning over 16 players in 2 years, right, and not getting anybody there, I'm saying, what if your model was, you're going to spend the same amount, you'll get 8 players, but that 8 players will be the correct players for the model. Now, over 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, should Chiefs not be in a better place than a super sport when it comes to the resources they have available right now? That's what I'm saying. So when now you're trying to make it all equal now, I was saying that as it stands right now, Supersport is number 3. Supersport has to start over every year. Chiefs is what? 3 points behind Supersport, and we can all agree that it hasn't been going so well for Kaizer Chiefs.
Okay, can I get
what would happen if Kaizer Chiefs did the right thing?
Can I get them there? Can I get there and say, on what you're saying, right? Chiefs is not getting the right players. Supersport is selling players every year, including afresh. So there is problems.
Current model.
Yes.
Model. I'm saying you're still going to buy 8 players. Chiefs are going to buy 8 players. They're not changing. They're not adding anything. We're going to get 8 players in. Nothing's changing. No ifs. Chiefs are signing 8. Next season, they sign 8. We're not changing anything. My argument is go out and get the right ones. And if they were to do that with the current expenditure that they have right now, in comparison to what the other teams are doing right now, I'm not, but anyway, really?
I think Joba Ushoganjando then, which means the Chiefs has to change their model and start buying players and not those ones that are free agent, because they are not spending as much players and much money as players in terms of buying, as we are saying, they should be in the same level as Supersport. They haven't spent so much on players, so which means in terms of like the cost saving as Nabo and the Supersport they are doing, it's more or the same like level. Yeah, so I don't think, because they haven't spent much Chiefs in terms of buying, because now if you go and buy, that's when you've got the luxury of buying quality players. You see, and the ones you can buy, you can assemble a squad of quality players. Then the result will come on the field of play. And then you'll be far ahead of your Supersport. But as long as we are not still spending, you are still the same as them, because they're also not spending. But the advantage is for them good, they are selling at the right price. So which means a good model for them, because they are doing more than what you are doing. And that's
why I said already. Forget about buying quality. Buy players that fit.
Okay, let's cycle around. Also. Let's cycle around and ask the simple question to Abute Velile. Abute Velile, take Sundowns out of this league, right? Let's say this is Sundowns. No, listen, this is my question. Take Sundowns out of the equation, right? Let's take Sundowns out of this. And I ask a simple question. is the league competitive?
The PSL.
Yes.
Yes, it is competitive.
Thank you.
Oh, Agent, whoa. Before you speak, Velil. Agent, when did I say it's not competitive?
What does mean that the whole argument?
No, Agent, when did I say it's not competitive?
The whole argument is
I said, is it competitive because all the teams are playing at the top of their quality and doing everything, or is it competitive because poor teams are playing each other and it becomes a lottery? That's the first thing I said. I didn't say it's not competitive, even in the messages.
No, the question that led to this was the league is not competitive. That was the thing.
I didn't say the league was not competitive.
Anyway, the thing is, you are giving politician answers. It's not competitive.
No, agent.
It's competitive. But the bottom line is competitive. Whether it's bad or what, but it's competitive, right? But
I'm not disagreeing with you. I've never disagreed with you with that.
What you're saying is there should be a point, right? With what you're saying is they should come to a point where let's say team X and team Y, right? For you to say the league is very competitive is if team X and team Y, because they spend so much money, they should be way ahead of other teams.
I've never said that.
That's what you're saying.
We're having two different conversations.
Let's move to the dive.
There's no time. We're having two different conversations, and I told you this in the group. The competitive one, besides the point. I mean, I'm talking about we can't just automatically say that a team that brags about 53 years of experience, that has facilities, that has everything, we must now believe that it's okay that those teams are exactly the same as everybody else. Then we have to start asking questions about where are those resources going? Why is it like that? Why is it that Gavin Hunt, right, can maximize getting development and doing all that stuff, right? You guys can't even do that to that level. He's always ahead of you. So then at what point do we look at especially our older teams, our more experienced teams, our more resourced teams, and say to them, but guys, you know what I mean? SuperSport has been in the league, in the PSL area, as long as Chiefs and Pirates. They're one of the top four. SuperSport has figured out their road. They're like, okay, this is our road. We don't want to necessarily win the league or whatever. Chiefs is like, we'll find the top 8, what. And then I go, Mara, Chiefs, Naturena, the money you spend, the sponsors, the this, the that, the 53-year history, Abo Dr. Ivan Koza, Abo Dr. Kaizer, all of those things. Do we now minimize all of that and say, it doesn't count? Because Cheers Galaxy, guys, should we not be, the question was, should we not be asking those teams, should those teams not be, the question even on TikTok, you can take it now, should money not equal more success or resources equal more success? Because it's more things. We can't fight Sundowns right now. Why? Because they've got money, experience, they're doing everything right, they're doing all that. Sundowns is rightfully where they need to be. Why? Because they're doing everything correctly. Everything. Manje, you're telling me with a clear conscience that tomorrow SuperSport can compete with you guys because SuperSport has such a plucky model? No.
Yes. This is where we differ. What I'm saying is SuperSport, right? If SuperSport was able to keep hold of their players, and sometimes can buy the whatever quality.
But they don't.
I'm saying if for a reason. If SuperSport was to hold of their players for 3 years, right? And Sundowns can buy whatever quality they want, shouldn't those two teams be able to compete?
Yes.
And then what
I'm saying is, okay, SuperSport, how does SuperSport keep hold of the players?
No, you're shifting the goalpost.
How does SuperSport, if in your scenario, what would SuperSport have to do? So that's more what?
No, you're shifting the post, right? The question, that's what the question is. No, let's say Sundowns, right, is spending 3 times whatever the money that SuperSport is having, right? Or 5 times or 10 times, right? That's SuperSport is spending, right? But SuperSport, with that model, they're just able to keep
How do they keep it? I get what I said. If I have more resources than you, over time, I should be able to do certain things. then
let's
if
say
you decide to get the resources, you can go above me. Again, if
no. That's the
if
thing.
MultiChoice decided to give SuperSport a huge budget, SuperSport should be ahead of everybody else on top
Let's
of their
say,
model.
can I say this? Let's say Sundowns has 100 million, right, for a season. Let's say over 7 years. Okay, let's say 3 years. Over 3 years, Sundowns has 100 million to spend, or 100 million to invest, players, salaries, everything, right? And SuperSport has 7 million, right? And in the 7 million, they can pay the development players and keep them for 3 years. You know. So my question is, this is where we differ. I'm saying, if SuperSport can hold on to their players for 3 years, pay them. Right? Even
But
if Sundowns,
how, agent? Because they need
even if they-
resources.
No, kind of what you're saying is for teams to be able to compete with each other, Team X and Team Y, they must have the same or similar resources. What I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be that way. Even if a team
Resources, not just money, agent.
okay, even if Sundowns has the best facility, best everything, but as long as SuperSport can be able to hold on to that place for 3 years, and Sundowns can spend 1 billion, well, it doesn't matter. For me, is I'm saying those two teams should be able to compete because they have two different models which they're maximizing. For me, it's not a matter.
But then over time, what happens, agent? That's my thing. You can't compete with City over time. That's the first thing I said. Over time. Why? Because Pep can keep refreshing at that level. Liverpool competed with City with their model for good years, for a good 3-4 years, right? Then they fell off. City carried on. Why? Because City can continue investing at a level that you can't sustain. So
but the
at
question
the end of
becomes,
7
those
years,
3 years, competition.
No, but that's why I said
Let's
9 years of
disagree,
Chiefs. No, 9 years of Chiefs, they have not learned any lessons. So there has not been a period, barring 1 year, there has not been a period where we've had a Liverpool effect. That was my point. That is my point. Guti, if everything is equal, you can't beat Sundowns because Sundowns is signing 50 million rand players every year and they're refreshing their team with the highest of quality every year. You can try it for a little bit of time, but it doesn't. If I give you 100 million over 10 years and you've got your system and I give Kolani 7 million over 10 years, you have spent 1 billion. He spent what? He spent 70. There's no way in logic over time with models, and maybe we should make it 2 models that we've seen work. It would not, SuperSport is not catching Sundowns anytime soon, even if they could hold on to those players.
They would.
Over 10 years. Over 10 years.
Remember, here's the problem, right? Look at Sundowns team. How many players are from SuperSport? What if SuperSport is able to hold on to that players?
They'll go to South America. They'll go to South America. They'll go to Egypt. They'll go to Morocco. They'll go elsewhere.
Yes, even if they can go there, but SuperSport has that hope that they can keep those players.
But I'm still getting better than you every year. I've got Mshishi on the bench. I've got this one on the bench. I've brought in Esquivel. I've got Mukwena on the team. The Zungu's there. Banban is there. Why is City? Why is City not being competed with like that?
For me on the pitch, here's my thing, and I think I want to close because I've been speaking for some time. For me, it's a case of, right, on the field of play, there's 11 players, or let's include 15 players, right? If you have the right coach in terms of Gavin Hunt, and you're able to keep your players, even if Sundowns can sign any player they want in Africa, and SuperSport is able to hold on to that players, they should be able to compete with Sundowns. For
How
me,
do they hold on to their players? Is it not a resource game?
But will the resource be the same as Sundowns?
I didn't say it must be the same. No one said it must be the same.
Will it be similar?
No.
It's going to be 10 times smaller.
Agent,
Okay,
I keep telling you, no one's comparing Sundowns.
You are not for Sundowns.
No, I said Chiefs and SuperSport. I even said Chiefs. I'm not asking Chiefs to win the league like SuperSport, like Sundowns. I never brought it. You are using the bar of Sundowns. Even in the message last night, I said it. Forget Sundowns.
Okay. So let's
That's too high a bar. They're gone.
Let's focus on Chiefs, right? Even if Chiefs has the right everything. This is my argument, right? Chiefs has the better resources, better everything. But if SuperSport was to hold on to their players, right, and they have a good coach, they should be able to compete with Sundowns on the pitch, because on the
With
pitch for
Chiefs,
me,
just say Chiefs.
with Chiefs, I'm a Sundowns fan, so Sundowns doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so,
that's why this is what's causing the argument.
But with Chiefs, even if with Chiefs, right, they have the right players right in everything in. For me, it's an application of you bring in the right players that fit your system, right? Whatever, it's fine. There's the right player and there's the right coach. Shouldn't that galactic of stars not be able to compete with a team that has been cohesiveness? I think this is a typical example of what we saw in the AFCON, that just because your squad has higher value, others have what we have, cohesion. You can
and if Chiefs had cohesion and more resources,
okay,
and
I
Super
think I'll
Sport
leave
had
this conversation
cohesion.
to others. I think let's keep it to others.
Okay, Kolani.
I mean, Mr. Otsi, I don't think financial muscle is an advantage. Looking at the game here, Sundowns, the Cape Town City, I think it's in the mentality of my player. If Cape Town City could keep their intensity throughout the season, they'll be able to challenge the Sundowns.
What helps with that intensity, Kolani?
But you can't flock money for the players to switch on.
Okay, why is Sundowns able to do it for a season?
Because it became their culture, Mr. Oti. I mean,
and that culture, pension. What does your bench have, and what does your
don't talk about
have?
Sundowns. Don't talk about Chiefs and
I'm asking Kolani. No, I'm making an example here. What does Sundowns have that is better than everybody else?
Anemali.
No, Mr. Oti, they've got quality players.
How do you get quality players?
I mean, are you saying Cape Town doesn't have quality players?
They don't have enough to go pound for pound with Sundowns.
No, Mr. Oti, it's either they have or they don't have. They don't have.
And that's why I made it about the season. Cape Town City can do Cape Town City can do something to Sundowns in one game. What about the season? What is the advantage that Sundowns has over Cape Town City for a season?
And Sundowns will sign Cape Town City players as well.
It's the experience, Mr. Oti.
And where does that experience come from?
Yeah, it's CAF experience, Mr. Oti. And
where does it come from? Where does it come from?
From playing with CAF, Mr. Oti.
And then, CAF is fine. And Chinchama play during the season and rest abanye. What type of quality do you have on the bench when you're tired?
We've been doing
just sport lodge.
Mr. Oti, before Pitso, we've been flocking money to buy quality players and we lose.
And what did you learn? Exactly. What did you learn after that? I even said it's not about spending money. Remember last night you were like,
it's not about spending money.
No.
It's
about how you spend.
It's not about spending money. You just said it's not about spending money.
No, it's not. It's about how you spend the money. Now, what I said to you last night, remember you were like, now umuntu shawa forex. This year, forex. He spent all his money in Shahil. Then I said, if loyo muntu ushawa forex 7 years ilandelan, at some point you look at that person and say, but you can't keep putting your whole salary into this thing. You have to figure out other ways to spend. And I even used the example earlier on where I said, Mamelodi Sundowns started out spending money like crazy, but then they realized that, our resources can go to different things. Build a structure. You get me? Build a structure, get a TD.
So who's at fault, Mr. Oti? Is it the Chiefs management or is it the financiers Sundowns?
No, it's Chiefs. Exactly. No one was saying Sundowns. It's Chiefs. The Chiefs is wrong here.
If Upo is bragging about 53 experience work, of which Chiefs hasn't gone through the bad patch, so I now low experience. He has never witnessed this bad patch with Chiefs. So
exactly.
So you can't come with the reason, but money is not the money, Mr. Oti.
I believe it's the money. It's how you spend the money. It's how you spend the money. Sundowns learned how to spend their money.
It's the decision the management takes about
with
spending
their money. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Malume Kutso.
Many things they have learned. What are they doing different? Because they are still spending a lot of money, chunks and chunks and chunks of money. Players are leaving that team without having kicked the ball. Some players we hear woman news, the coach is admitting, and apparently that player is 40 million. The other two players are 50 million. Why need they lend from spending? They are still spending.
No, I think you misunderstand it. Because he's been saying the same thing about Motiba.
No. With
Like
Modiba,
like
they said
Umetias for him for Uruland, Umetias can play in more in three different positions. So he's still trying to find his best position out of these three.
all right, but that does not make him 2 rand. It still makes him 40 million. So my point is, they're still spending money on money. So no need they've learned.
What we learn, we need more experienced players to compete with Abu Al Akhri and all that. Because if you compare if my spendings are Sundowns, then my spendings are Al Akhri, you will see what is in us because our aim is not
then
to
I would not get a picture of growth from Sundowns if I compare it to Al Ahly. The best way would be to compare it to the Sundowns of yesteryear, where you were signing Tori Elba, where you were signing Benedicto Villagazi, where you were signing Spusiso Zuma, where you were signing Collins Mbesuma. What has changed?
This is what they've learned.
Can you go to the topic and stop taking Sundowns? Because I want to hear your input on the topic, not on Sundowns.
I was gonna defend Sundowns there. Hey, wait. This is what they've learned. They've spent.
Welcome to the club, OT.
Yeah, Theo, please don't. The fact that you guys have put me in this position. Polani, go on. I'll go after you.
I'm saying from out of playing Abos Moses Zuma and all that, we were able to win the CAF Champions League. So, but by winning CAF Champions League, it means we did learn. Like we would see how which players can we buy for competing with CAF. As we are dominating. Okay, it's fine, Mr. It's fine. Back door or whatever. But we do have.
Not to be winning.
But we do have AFL. Yeah, well, Mr. Oti, of which the best of the...
I think Malume Kutso, what they've learned,
and we came up top.
I think what they've learned is that back in the day, 12 out of the 15 signings would be useless. At least now they've figured out that you've got a starting lineup and you've got a secondary team kind of that can compete. So I think that's what they've learned in terms of spending money. They're still spending a lot of money, but now they don't spend as much, or they don't bring in as many players as they used to, but they've got a solid team. Back then, they used to just sign players and just plop them onto the pitch. And now, if you're not good enough or if you're a mistake signing, at least they've got a team to lean on for the rest of the time.
But Mr. Oti, but no, when Mr. Oti, you let someone here get away with murder, because these guys, they cannot always come here now and then say we've won Champions League. They've never won it on the field of play. So that must be also be known.
Yeah.
So we're not always gonna give them credit and saying they will won. No, they've never won. They failed on the field of play. Since they've been won it, they still need to win it. We cannot talk about the AFL because we know AFL was created by their father for his team. So these guys. These guys, wait. These guys, they're like students from metric, whereby you want to pass with distinction so you can go to university. They qualified by university, Tinasai Vestec, and next door. Now they want again to come and compete with us and tell us, we are talking now. No, they failed at their level. Now they're coming to our level and trying to come and fight with us. We are fine at Vestec. We are competing at Vestec. We want 3 cups.
Hey, this is why. Oh, what's going on, guys? Are you still with me? Eban. Hi, guys. Let me just try get back on so I can close it up. It seems that we just got cut off there. My WhatsApp crashed. Let me see if I can just get the call back on. Hi guys, it doesn't seem like I can get back into the call. But anyway, that was just a glimpse. Just a glimpse of our WhatsApp group and the type of conversations we have on the WhatsApp group and how incredible it is. Those are the guys. So if you do want to be part of the WhatsApp group and you do want to have these type of conversations day in and day out, just know that you can join that by going over to YouTube, clicking on subscribe, then clicking on join. 20 Rand a month. You'll be able to gain access to the WhatsApp group where this is just a glimpse. On Fridays, I give my members the show and they speak on the show. But then throughout the rest of the week, we are going back and forth like crazy within that group. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you guys can join, that would be incredible. I'm trying to get back onto the call. It's not allowing me to come back. So I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there. That there was a little bit of a problem there. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. The full video is going to be out on YouTube. It's going to be out on Facebook. You can watch them there. And then also, again, if you want to join, that's how you join. If you have not followed, please follow. I'm going to be here for the derby tomorrow at 3:30 and also for the Sundowns match at 8 o'clock. We'll watch it together as well and do a watch along. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As you saw, man, gumnandi kule group, guys. Gumnandi. Thanks, guys. I'll see you then tomorrow, 3:30.